Hello, my friends. AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink. Welcome back to my face and my card making space. And a card doing a little bit of watercolor. I pulled out a set that was part of the Always There release, the May release. I'll have a link to it in the description box below the video. And did some simple heat embossing, bit of watercoloring, watercolored the background, splatter, didn't forget, all the things. As always, everything I used will be listed and linked in the description box below the video. My links are affiliate links. That just means that if you click on one of my links and end up placing an order, I get a little kickback from that at no extra cost to you. It's what helps, pays the bills, keeps the lights on, enables me to keep bringing out content. And yeah, let's get into making this card. So this is the Floral Word Builder stamp set. And I have some hot press watercolor paper here, specifically Altenew's hot press watercolor paper. I've gone on about this at length in many videos. If you are familiar with the different types of watercolor paper, I personally am not a fan of most hot press papers. The way they're made and the way watercolor sits on them drives me nuts. But Altenew's is an exception. It's got a little bit of a tooth to it, and yeah, I like it. Any watercolor paper, for the most part, with the exception of maybe like a coarse watercolor paper would work for this. The whole point being being able to stamp something with detail, which this stamp set, this Floral Word Builder, there's a lot of detail. And I used my anti-static powder tool, and then I stamped the images with clear embossing ink, and I inked them up and stamped them multiple times because, again, on watercolor paper and with detail and clear embossing ink, you can't really see what you're doing, but I would rather just be safe than sorry. Stamp multiple times and then coat with my embossing powder, which this time I did white embossing powder. So this is going to look like a whole lot of nothing for the first bit. In real life, I can see everything, because I'm sitting like what all of my audience is seeing is, the camera straight down. So this looks like a blank piece of watercolor paper. But where I'm sitting, I can see the light reflecting on the white embossing powder. So I'm not going in, completely blind with all of this. And yeah, I've super sped this up because after I had heat embossed it, made sure everything was melted, shiny, etc. I am using this 36 pan set. I bought this, goodness, I don't even know how many years it's been. I have more watercolor palettes than I need, but I can't help myself. Anyway, I haven't used this one in a while, and I was like, ooh. So I pulled that out. So I'm using this set plus some fine watercolor brushes because some of these little areas are quite small. And for me, this is simple watercolor. I always want to try and add that caveat if I can, because watercolor is definitely intimidating. It takes practice. The more you do it, the more comfortable you get with it. I cannot stress that enough. I've been, dabbling with watercoloring in card making for, don't even remember how many years it's been, but well over a decade, I think. And yeah, I really enjoy it. It is one of my favorite ways to color because, of course, I like multiples. But yeah, I kept this watercoloring fairly simple. All the letters I just did in a purple shade. And then, once the letters are painted, it starts to look like something on camera. Plus, that's like the bulk of the coloring, really. The rest now, the leaves are very small, very detailed. So I just used a little brush and just painted those in. I did keep all the greenery. I broke my own rule because I always talk about this with greenery, whether it's die cut, stamps, whatever. It's like I always kind of yell at everyone, like, use different shades of green. You need variation. Green, it's not all the same. There's so much options. I did all these the same, but they're small. And I just honestly, when I was doing it, it was like I was having a day, and it was like the less thinking, the better. So, yeah. The only variation I did was the actual florals, because the little florals on each of these different letters, they're different, and they're really pretty. It looks odd. Even when it's fully done, it looks better when they're die cut, but when it's fully done, you still don't see a whole lot on camera because of the white heat embossing. It kind of just everything looks a little bit off. But then once it's die cut, and again in real life, it's a little more obvious because you can actually see the shine of the embossing powder. But for my florals, I also kept it fairly simple and just did them all in sort of various shades of pink. Because again, that's what I was feeling. That's just what I was feeling. So kind of worked my way around and just kind of was mixing random little colors into that first sort of initial pink shade there to give, again, a little bit of variation, but not, completely change up the colors, anything like that. And yeah, just continue to work my way around here, painting these in. And again, this was all kind of pretty simple because the images are small. It's different with like the larger florals, and I show, dropping in the color at the base of the petals and pulling it out and all of that sort of stuff. I was able to do that a little bit with the first little florals on the letter H, but the rest of this I was just like, it's just cute. And then right along the bottom, which you can't see at the moment, but I stamped a little bird image and there's a little bee image, and I heat embossed those as well. And the little bird, I decided to paint like a little robin. I always have so many robins in my yard, and they just make me happy. So added a little bit of sort of a red shade, and then added a bit of gray. And then the little bee on camera, it's just like, what is that little blob? But again, in real life, he's there. He's really cute, just very small. And then once I was done coloring all these in, I used the coordinating wafer dies and die cut them and set all this aside. Because for my background, rather than dig through my stash, I probably could have found a purple shade of cardstock that would have matched perfectly. But instead, I pulled out some of my, what I call the El Cheapo watercolor paper, my Strathmore watercolor paper. Love this stuff. The reason I pulled this out specifically was because I want to run this through with a 3D embossing folder. And I still have not gotten up the courage to attempt doing it with like the good watercolor paper, the much heavier stuff. I have a feeling I'll manage to like break my embossing folders, if not my die cut machine doing it. So this stuff embosses really nice. And I like this watercolor paper too for, die cutting and watercoloring and just all the things. It's great stuff. It's just not my preferred one though for like stamped images, etc. So I didn't tape it down. I just laid out a panel of it and painted that purple shade with a big wide watercolor brush. And because I was making such a mess, the like watercolor and water on my work surface was actually kind of suctioning the watercolor paper so it didn't curl up. Because again, I'm not worried about it because I just want the color on. I sped up the drawing with my heat tool, and then I'm going to run it through my die cut machine with an embossing folder, which I used the Mythic, what one was this one called? Mythic Blooms embossing folder. So I ran that panel through. So now it's all embossed. And I'm going to cut this down with my paper trimmer. I had a rectangle wafer die just to give me like a visual on what size I wanted this finished panel to be. And I used that just kind of as my little guide and then trim this down because I didn't want to die cut it with that rectangle wafer die because that would just press out all that embossing that I had done, and I couldn't be bothered. So after I trimmed it, I'm gluing this to a panel of white cardstock that I die cut with one of the Eyelet frames wafer dies. So once I've got those glued together, I am going to I've got all of my die cut letters that I'd watercolored, and I was like starting to figure out, my placement, all the things. And then I need a little companion sentiment, like to finish this off. And in that release, there was also the Floral Word Builder Sentiments set. So just a little companion set with some little phrases to add to those larger letters, depending on what word you spell out. And I white heat embossed the sending word onto the scrap of the good watercolor paper. And then I'm going to die cut this with the little banner wafer die from that coordinating die set. And then I just took one of the fine watercolor brushes and I'm just painting, just leaving a little bit of the edge. In the stamp set, there's a little banner stamp, but it's a solid stamp. And I was in the mood for everything to be matchy-matchy. So this purple watercolor was what I was going to do. So I just freehand painted this. It's not perfect, but it does the job. And technically, the white heat embossing does resist when you can watercolor over it, all the things. You always got to keep in mind, though, purples, intense pinks, and reds, especially with watercolor, are very staining. So it can still tint, even if you paint first and then white heat emboss over it after it's fully dry. Sometimes, because the colors can just be so intense, they will stain embossing powder. It happens. I'm not too concerned about it. I just thought I would mention that. So after it was dry, I then took some baker's twine and I wrapped it around my panel and then used my reverse tweezers to hold the knot in place so I can sit and fiddle, make my little bow the way I want it. Once I'm happy with it, you pull it tight, remove those reverse tweezers, pull it tight again, trim off the tails, and then we're good to go. And then I was going to place the letters in place, but I was like, oh, we gotta do splatter. So I'm gonna do the inside of the card before we get to that point. So my card base is a top folding A2 white note card, so 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. And I'm gonna line up more letters from that floral word builder set, specifically to spell the word love. So I'm gonna line these up on the inside of the card. And then I'm going to ink these up with Amethyst, Positively Saturated ink, which is a very intense purple, but it goes very nicely with the purple watercolor. And because it's such an intense color, I'm going to stamp it first onto just this scrap of copy paper. So it gets like that first impression. And then without re-inking the stamp or stamps, I'm going to then stamp that onto the inside of my card. So I get a much lighter impression. It's a lot easier to write over and isn't as busy. And then I added a companion sentiment from that little floral word builder sentiments set. And I stamped that with VersaFine Clear Nocturne ink. So the inside says, love you, friend. And then now I can adhere my card front panel to my card base. Because I want to add splatter before I add all those letters. Because again, these letters are delicate and I just didn't want to get a bunch of splatter on top of them. So I kept the letters set aside. And I'm going to start with purple splatter using the watercolor palette. So I'm just adding more color, less water. So a little more concentrated, a little more intense. And then I'm just putting it on an acrylic block because then I can just use the brush I was using to mix up the watercolor and you just flick the brush against the edge of the block. This is a good way to start with splatter too. It gives you a little bit more control. It kind of lets you aim within reason. Where you want your splatter to be. But yeah, it does work. I don't do this very often, but it works. So I did that splatter first. And then I'm going to use the Pawsitively Perfect White Splatter Medium, which needs to be stirred up because all that pigment settles to the bottom of the jar. So stirred that up, and then for this I used my go-to, my little fan brush here, and added a healthy dose of splatter to this card front, and then let all of that completely dry. And while it was drying, I had put little foam squares on the back of these letters. So splatter needed time to dry, so I had time to add the foam adhesive. So I laid them all out on my card front and then one at a time remove the foam, the backing to the foam squares, and then adhere them down into place. And then I'll adhere my little companion sentiment here. And I didn't forget. I did, but I didn't. The little bird and the bumblebee. I did forget about them until the very end. So anyway, put the little companion sentiment into place. And then I'm going to adhere a little bit of bling, just to really finish it off. So I've got some Lilac Pawsitively Dazzling gems. So I kind of sprinkled those around this card front till I was happy with their placement. Once I was happy with it, I'm going to pick these up with my little embellishment wand and then glue these into place with some liquid glue. And yeah, it was right after this that I noticed the little bird and the little bee die cuts that I had sitting, and I was like, oh yes, need to add those too because they're cute. So pop these into place with little foam squares and a little bit of liquid glue. And once these guys are adhered, this card is complete. So I've got some watercolor and some texture, a little bit of bling with the embellishments, baker's twine, always a favorite. All the things. So, like I mentioned in the intro, I'll have links to everything that I used in the description box below the video. You can just expand that to see all the things. I'll have a link to my blog post. There's photos and all the things in the blog post as well. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me, for thumbs upping and commenting. It helps a ton and I really appreciate it. And I will see you all very soon in the next video. Bye. Thank you so much to my amazing Patreon supporters. For anyone that might be interested in joining my Patreon community and supporting me, the link to my Patreon is in the description box below the video. For everyone else, as always, thank you all so much for taking the time to watch my videos, for thumbs upping, commenting, subscribe if you haven't, I'd love to have you. And here's a couple other videos for you to check out in case you missed them. Bye!